David is going to share like his illustrious career. He's going to share some of his projects, and I think there's a lot of like exciting things that like David has planned with his new gallery, as well as some of the things that he's doing with his wonderful gallery in Penang. So for tonight, thank you everybody for joining. Thank you, David. We are looking forward to your wonderful adventure. Take it away, David.
Wonderful.
Rita, you want to do recording?
Yes, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Do I have the screen already? All right. Good evening, everyone. Good morning. If you are somewhere else, welcome. It's glad to be here. So my name is David Loh, and I'm based right here now in Penang. We came back 3 years ago after being away for almost 30 years. So finally coming home, hoping to retire in Penang, but suddenly we discovered Penang has so much potential and so many things to do. So tonight, I'm just going to take you through a very short slideshow of my career and some of the exciting events that I've done. And after that, we're going to introduce some projects that we are currently doing, and we'll have some Q&A after that. If we've noticed some delay in the slideshow, if it goes too long, let me know, please, so that I'll slow down from each slide. So tonight, I'm just going to talk about creating iconic images. It's a big topic and it's a difficult topic. So it's a big, it's scary for me to say that I can't be shooting iconic images, but it's my policy to always push myself, so that, if you don't push yourself, you will always do the normal stuff. So if you set a high standard for yourself, then you're always, trying to do better than what it is. So let's start.
God, here.
We came back, like I said, 3 years ago, and we got a drone in Penang. And, we started shooting things that is around the festivals and all that. This one was interesting because this is the altar table during the Chinese New Year. And, when we go there, normally I'll do a research, and people will tell me, everyone will hang around and says, it's been shot until death. There's no new angle. You can't find any new angle, But I was lucky. I managed to find this shot, one of the first few frames I shot that night. And, it is now considered, we use this as our front cover for our first book, Over Penang. And it's what is amazing is after that, a lot of people wanted to take the same picture, but because the next year, the economy wasn't good, half the table was empty. And then the subsequent COVID hit. So until now, nobody has gotten something similar for this. So, okay, I'm gonna quickly just go through. This is the Thaipusam that we shot. This was shot during Chinese New Year of the fireworks. This photograph is actually 35 frames stitched in. And many of the shots that I shoot now are stitched because you need, if you want a huge file, you need to combine. The best you can get is 100 megabytes or 50 megabytes for one frame. But if you want like, some of my files are like 5 gig, then you need to stitch. So this is 35 frames using a drone. Oops. Sorry. This one is Damayazaki Pagoda. After we did our first exhibition and our book, we were given, our partner, Jeffy, got us the permission to fly from Foreign Ministry in Myanmar. As you know, Myanmar, they're very, very strict about allowing you to go in. But we managed to get a letter from Foreign Ministry, and we were allowed to fly, anywhere that we wanted. So I brought 2 groups of friends. We went there twice, and we got amazing shots. Too bad Yang here, his drone was confiscated. So he had to be our boy to carry our bags and all that. So we were very lucky to have a very professional a colonel from the Singapore Air Force to be helping us. This is one of the amazing events that you have to go in Sarawak. This is called the Cow Festival. It's a big festival in the third week of April. So we have gone twice to cover this. It's a beautiful one-day event. Again, this is a drone looking straight down. This is one of my favorite shots because you hardly see Penang in this angle, and it reminds me of the East India Company map. This image is very detailed. We have it blown up to 4 feet by 4 feet, and you can even identify the car models in each car, in each image. I shot this probably 2 years ago. One of my first time going back to KL to shoot with the drone. Again, this is stitched. You get a lot of funny, say, design and shapes because the drone can shoot 360 degrees with 34 frames. But if you don't use 34 frames and you just use to stitch less than that, you get all these funny shapes. And depending on the software and depending on the number of frames, you get different funny shapes. Okay, I shot this while I was working in Reuters. It was a day after a fire that wiped out the squatter house in Pujok Corner in Miri. So that was the first time that I discovered how powerful an image is. This photograph was used all over the world, and it was amazing to be in the office and you get phone calls from people all around the world trying to help this girl. They are willing to send their money to us and says, can you please help her? Unfortunately, we went back, we tried to locate this child, but we couldn't find. So in the end, we didn't manage to get all the money to donate. But it showed me how powerful when you are shooting as a photojournalist that you can really touch and help others. This was another one. I was sent to try to get into Afghanistan after September 11. So when you're working as a journalist, a photojournalist with the wires, Reuters, AP, AFP, you never know what you'll be doing the next day. So can you imagine, here we are, 8 o'clock, you watch September 11 happen, and the next morning you are called, go and get into Afghanistan. And you're like, how? I have no idea how to get there. So it was, we had to fly the next day, September 12th, to Islamabad, Pakistan, and then from there try to get in. So we couldn't get in because they closed down the border, and we had to all still try and get the images for the world press because everyone is waiting for your photographs. So we went to the refugee camp. This is his name is Gulbas. He's 12 years old, but he was in a hospital in Jalazai. It's a refugee camp. So he was only 5.3 kilogram, an average weight of a 5-month-old kid. So we saw him there, and again, this image, you managed to bring the attention to the world. So here I am. This is Reuters. This were the good old days where they sent you out. Nowadays, you work remotely. So after that, I was working as a sub-editor, editor. So nowadays, we can be controlling an event happening in anywhere around the world, and we work from Singapore. Singapore used to be the HQ of Reuters Global Desk, so I was one of the editor in charge there for the past 10 years before I left at 2016. So this was in Salt Lake, if I'm not mistaken, during the Winter Olympics, and we have a huge team. But nowadays, it's very rare to see such huge team there. So inside this frame, there are a lot of amazing, famous, talented photographers here. So this one, I owe my whole career to him because he was the Reuters photographer in Malaysia. And in the agency, you have to wait until somebody either dies or move out. So luckily, Goh Chai Hin left to go to Hong Kong and China. So I took his place in Malaysia. So very lucky for him, and we are very good friends now. This was in Athens when we are enjoying ourselves. So this is Zainal. Zainal is now working as chief for the Malaysian Insight. He was also in Reuters for many long time. And that's Arko. Arko was one of the World Press Award winner. So when I started in Reuters, we had to shoot manual with film. And can you imagine, you're only allowed 3 rolls to shoot. My first assignment for Reuters, shooting the MotoGP. So can you imagine, 1 race, 3 rolls, and you have to process, develop the roll, dry the film, and then you scan the photograph in. So unlike now, where it's so easy, you can shoot, 20 frames per second and still get and just immediately file. So, so I always say now, the photographers have it very easy. The only issue now they have is they have millions of frames to find the best. Then you have 36, so you have only 100 frames to look at. So one of our major assignment was covering Anwar and Reformasi last time. So it was Anwar who actually forced me to leave the country, because can you imagine, every day we were covering the court case and his mattress, and the police every day was pushing us further and further away from the court case. So this was Reuters stringer before he got a baton. So we had fun. Mr. Young will be able to tell because he was right there. And for those people who haven't been sprayed by the water tank, now they use different colors so that they can mark you. This was journalists being tear gas. So we enjoyed ourselves. So this one is the Black Maria. It's a tinted glass. You can't see anything. And this is our job, trying to make something out of nothing. We were so happy, still shooting film to be able to see some ghost effect. So, like Yusuf was saying, quality and play. This got a lot of play because it was only, very rare that you can see Anwar with his neck brace, when the story happened. So can you imagine, everyone is trying to shoot, but you can't see what you are shooting. So this was one of the first few frames to see him getting the blue black. So for 1 year, this was all we hoped to get. So I thought, okay, this is crazy. I'm not going to travel every day, jam 1 hour from PJ to go to KL. So I left and I got a job in Singapore. That was the HQ for Asia, and I was supposed to be the fireman covering Asia. So this is us in Formula One. One of the hottest event you can cover, 50 over degrees on the track, and we carry 2 of these large cameras. And unlike the regular photographers, the wire service, we have no chance to be taking the whole race. We have to shoot, we have to file by the second competing. So we will cover the start of the race, maybe 4 laps, and rush back to file, and then try to get to another corner, hopefully catch a crash or so, something happened, and then go and rush, file, and then go for the podium. So it's not, it is unlike so professional F1, they will go from race to race and they don't have to file until end of the race. So it's different. So Singapore, when I was there, this is, every photographer will have this shot, including Vincent. This is the easiest because it shows it's such a beautiful circuit.
And also they give you nice wine.
That's right. You get the room to shoot, and they hosted us in. So then the Singapore race is at night, but because the camera is so good now, you can shoot whatever ASA that you want. So it's easy. And then of course you try to do differently. You have 1, 2 remotes, so you shoot with a pedal to trigger your camera, or you have another trigger. So you'll be shooting long lens to cover the 2 cars, and then you'll be shooting wide shot just in case there's a crash, because you never know. Again, like we mentioned earlier, you have only 4 maybe circuits to cover before you have to rush off the file again. So events such as this is very set pace. You know what you're getting, and you know how the image you need. So trying to be compete and stand out during the race is very hard. Don't forget, when you shoot for the wire, your client, for most of the papers magazine, they have like say 10 spots every day for international news, and they get 6,000, 10,000 images. So for them to use your image is very, very rare. So for us in the wires, if you get, we have a play report that people file up to say, oh, how many use your image. So when you see people using your image, that's the ecstasy. You see your name in all these international papers. One of the most dangerous area to be is in the pit. The cars really zoom very, very fast. There are so many times I'm so grateful for the pit crew that they drag and pull you away from the car just seconds before you get hit. So we are so thankful for them looking out for us. So in what Vincent was saying previously during his talk, in our job, we need to know the characteristics of individual shooter, the sportsmen and all that, so that we can prepare, to capture them when they do all this. So the more you prepare, the more you research, the better you get, the luckier you get to capture all this image. If not, it's difficult. So one of my more interesting assignment was to cover Suharto's downfall during the Trisakti University protest. That time, if you can remember, they were burning Chinatown, they were blaming the Chinese, and as a Chinese, and I was shooting there, then suddenly you're asking yourself, what am I doing there? They're burning down Chinatown, they're chanting, they're looking for Chinese, and you are shooting. This guy was right after a car bomb that was happening like 20 meters from here, and he survived. He was sitting on top of the jeep, and the bomb went off, and he survived. And the protests, when you cover a protest, you never know. You're never safe, because you only need one guy to come after you, and that's it. But we always have a saying: if your picture is not good enough, you're not near enough. So we try to be as close as possible to the action, but that's the risk for a photojournalist, you have to be street smart. You have to trust your sense. You have to know where it's safe, whether it's safe to stand behind the police or behind the protesters, and so on and so forth. So this is during that. This was when they burned down Chinatown. Trying, like I said, we only have so few. We need one frame to tell the story. So many times you have to look. I always tell my student that, when you shoot as a photographer, always look at the different level. Sometimes you need to shoot from a drone to get the wide. Sometimes you need to shoot the macro. Sometimes you need to focus attention on your subject. So it's your job to find which level you have to go in to get the best frame. A lot of people, they look at the scene and they say, there's nothing here, which is not true. If you look at different levels, you will find the shot. This is one of my really adventurous assignment. When Deng Xiaoping died, you got a pager. We used a pager then, and to say, come to Beijing. We went, and when I flew into the Beijing, met the bureau chief for the first time. She went in, opened the safe, brought out a stack of renminbi, and said, there, go to his hometown. This was his birth home, Deng Xiaoping's birth home. We were getting a lot of information that there are 6,000 people mourning there and all that. So we wanted to verify. So I flew in with a TV cameraman, and it was amazing. As soon as we land in Chongqing and we sat in the cab, the secret police sat right in front, and that guy followed us for the next 3 days. So this spot, I went in, it was 100 kilometers from Chongqing. It's called Baifen. That is his home village. This is where Deng Xiaoping was born. So we shot, and then we have to decide, do we stay and file our photographs, or do we go back to Chongqing? Luckily, we did the latter. The rest of the world media who stayed at the local hotel, they were all detained, and they didn't send their photograph. They couldn't send at all. So luckily I went back another hour, 2 hours drive, and we managed to file. But when I wanted to leave the airport after this event, I got stopped at the airport, and the secret the special police actually took out, checked everything, and asked frame by frame, why did you shoot this? Why did you shoot that? It was amazing. This was the September 11th. So this is Peshawar, one of the border towns there. We were trying to go in, trying to cover. As you can see, we carry a lot of expensive gear. I use one of the first digital camera. It's only a 1.4, I think, DCS Kodak, and it costs something like 80,000 ringgit. So we carry two of them, more expensive than my house. And can you imagine you're going into all these places? Yeah. So we have to be really, really careful. So this was Islamabad, we're trying to show the world what is happening in Afghanistan, So when we are not in Afghanistan, so what do? We went to the refugee camp. These are Afghan refugees in Jalozai camp, and trying to portray them, because we couldn't get into the Afghanistan. Again, you have to shoot very tight and tell the story in one frame. A lot of the time, you don't have you cannot tell the story in 10 frames. So in news reporting, as a photojournalist, you are really push yourself to be able to do that one shot. One shot, you get the message across. US, Afghanistan, refugee, food, things like this. Petrol, economy. We have to match a lot for business stories too. So this was great. The week after, we were still wondering whether, they're going to attack. Is there going to be war and all that? So again, you try to tell the story indirectly. Oh, for those who haven't covered this type of effigy and burning, they are very fast. You have like 2 seconds before it goes off. So you must always be prepared, through experience, you know where to stand, what you want to shoot. And, nowadays it's easy, 20 frames, 30 frames per second. That's no problem. But before that, if you're shooting film, again, you can see, I'm using the weapons with the words, trying to tell. This was the same boy, Gusba. Unfortunately, we do not know what happened to him. I was just there for 1 day in the hospital, and then we had to leave. So covering things like this, you have to be very sensitive. You cannot just barge in, shoot, and leave. You spend time with them, trying to get their story, trying to tell their story, so that the world can be aware. Okay, any questions so far?
I think we're okay. David?
Wonderful.
Yep.
Okay, so the next part, I'm going to talk about gear. Yeah, for me, whether I use an underwater camera, a drone, a telescope, and all that, it's just a way for me to get the image. So I'm not the one who is like, when I go around, all my cameras are all taped up. There's no name, there's no brand, there's no, I don't believe in, walking around showing off the camera, because, we go around everywhere, and we don't want to be marked, and we don't want to be, catch the eye of somebody who wants to steal your gear. So when I was stuck during the COVID, at home, I decided to, hey, let's invest on a telescope. And this, initially, I thought it was a toy, because it was only selling for $170 US in Amazon. But it gives me 1008 mm at f11. And you can attach it with a T connector with any camera. and you can use it. It's of course it's manual, and of course it's fixed lens, but look at the shot that you can get. So my recommendation to anyone who wants to go into photography, grab the first camera you can afford and then learn from there. It's more important that you learn how to shoot, because photography is a skill that if you practice more and more, you get better and better. So like this image was shot full frame of the tiger, probably 70 meters away, but it's usable, for 170 US lens, So don't worry too much about, what you're using. As long as it works for you, it's fine. This one too. This was shot in Taiping Zoo. So moments that you capture, whether it's people, animals, the eyes is very important. It has to be very sharp. This one, we were just there at the Spice Garden, and yeah, it was just on top, so I could shoot it in the 7200. I got a very nice series of this. And in fact, now that the Adobe allows you to quadruple the file size, I had to reprocess all my files that I edited to get this so that we can blow it up. The other very good lens that we should try to get for everyone is the 51.2. It's an amazing lens. It's worth every penny that you spend on it. I got it used. You don't have to buy new, because I don't believe in buying new. As long as the quality is good, it still have a maybe 2-3 months warranty. Go for use. But look at this lens. The bouquet is so beautiful. Any shot that you shoot with this lens looks amazing. And be unconventional. Here, most people do not shoot concert with a 10-17 lens, because normally you don't get access to be so close. But I was lucky. I was hired by Marriott to shoot this in Bangkok. So I was standing. There was a 2 feet opening between the stage and the fans. So I was just right in there and could shoot it. So very rare that you get such access. This is Imagine Dragon. When I was asked to shoot them, I have no idea who they were. I had to ask my daughter whether they are famous or not, until I found out that, hey, they are very famous. So what the irony that when I joined Reuters is, after a while going to Singapore, I got dragged behind the desk to be a sub-editor and an editor. During the Hong Kong handover, although I was in Hong Kong, because I knew a bit more about the computer, we were dragged behind, and unfortunately since then I became an editor, sub-editor, and then editor. So in the end, with Reuters, I was editor in charge of the global pictures desk based in Singapore. So we were handling all the photographs from all the photographers around the world. So because I couldn't shoot, I decided to go into underwater photography while stuck in Singapore. So from Singapore, 2 hours, you can go anywhere, and all this world-class site to shoot. So this was shot by my good buddy, Uncle Charles, because my dear wife refused to shoot it for me, and she swam away. So Uncle Charles shot this beautiful shot for me in Maldives. This was actually a float. Normally, when you're diving with big pelagic, huge creatures like this, sometimes it's 4 meters, you'll be shooting with a wide angle lens. But unfortunately, my camera got flooded, so I lost my wide angle. So I was shooting with the macro lens, the 100 macro lens. And sometimes pure luck that you get good shots. This one is Maldives. We were actually snorkeling, chasing a whale shark when this came in at 8 meters. So having to dive down 8 meters and shoot, it wasn't easy. But sometimes you have to do what you have to do to get the shot. Maldives again. There's this place in Maldives where you go night dive and it's the size of probably 2 tennis courts, but you get all this marble ray and the sharks all around you at night. Yeah, so it's a wonderful experience. This one again, Maldives. This was another spot south in Maldives where they put in some food and all this nurse shark. They're like 3, 4, 5 meters buggers, and they just come around you. We'll be sitting watching them, and they'll be coming from all angles, bumping you and all that. So one of the most amazing dives we can get. So yeah, I do everything from underwater to street to drones. So for me, again, you can use the same techniques, you can use the same knowledge. It's just matter of controlling and being aware of the subject and shooting the subject. Composition wise, it's all the same. For a drone and underwater, you have the freedom to go anywhere and put your camera anywhere. So as a photographer, when we are working, because we get great access, I always tell our student, go and show people something they have not seen before. Don't shoot from your eye level. Don't shoot something that they can take themselves. Get them something that they have not seen or they have not the opportunity to view. There are only 2 ponds around the world, one in Palau and the other one is in Sangkalaki, where you swim with this stingless jellyfish. So unfortunately, you don't dive with them, so you have to skin dive and snorkel with them, which sometimes can be difficult because you're trying to get rid of your bubbles while taking photographs. This is Miri. Miri is one of the best dive sites. If anyone wants to learn diving, go to Miri and learn. You have a very nice hotel there, great food, and even when you cannot dive the last day because you are flying back, there is the Nia Caves for you to explore. So wonderful. We have our friends there with Coco Divers. Let us know. So again, trying to capture moments is what a photographer should do. The image must be dynamic, the image must be balanced. But for an image to be balanced, that's the hardest thing to teach, because how do you teach balance? There are so many balance around. There's your contrast balance, there's the color balance, there's the weight balance. So if you want to learn and be a good photographer, check out lots of image books and learn from the masters. Like this one, I was snorkeling, but because I wanted this shot, I had to hold my breath for at least at least a minute. So it's tough because you are trying to capture and not breathe at the same time, and get the patterns right. This is in Oslo, in Philippines, in Cebu Island. Whale shark, one of the best places to see is in Maldives. This is Oslo. This is my dear wife, Rebecca. She is my backup photographer. She carries my backup gear, my backup drone. So, and plus the air, because she used half the air. But then you have to be nice with her, because if she's angry, when you ask for the air, she swims away. That's Maldives again. They have one of the clearest water. This, I believe, is a yellow snapper, if I'm not mistaken. This is in Andamans. Andamans is one of the most untouched dive sites. It can be just as like other dive sites, but the fish there, the wildlife there is just amazing. It's one of the places where you can lose your buddy because there's so many fish in between you and your buddy. Yeah, we went there. Rebecca used to work for our good friend in Planet Scuba India, so we went for a safari in Andamans. This is in Sipadan. This was actually shot with the point and shot, the Fuji F30. It's a tiny, tiny point and shoot. But again, it just shows you, it's not the camera, it's how you use the camera. How are you doing with time?
I think we're okay. 9:08.
Okay.
We're doing good.
Wonderful.
Very good pace. No worries,
Wonderful.
David.
Okay. This image was reprocessed with the Adobe enhanced super res. So it's amazing the quality that you can get. Now I can get like 13,000 pixels, and we can use it for for large prints now, or even the wall art. This is in Miri. This was again using a point and shoot to shoot. Miri has amazing wildlife. Soft corals that is just 20 minutes from town, so you don't have to travel far to see all this lovely view. Cuttlefish in Indonesia. This is if you want to get macro, the Sulawesi, right? What is it called? Lembe is one of the best places to go, the macro capital of the world. The eyeball of a fish. So again, stuck in Singapore, can't shoot. So what do? We have a friend. So we just offer her, says let's do underwater photography. One camera to do this. We wanted to do a whole series on this. So okay, so after shooting and after leaving Reuters, we came back in 2017, end of 2017, after the big flood in Penang. So I was, lucky that my dear friend Jahaba hired me to be a journalist, a photojournalist in Penang. And the only thing he asked me when coming back is have fun, So ever since that's what we've been doing, having lots of fun in Penang. We got a drone, and this was the first image I shot. And when I put it up on the Facebook and Instagram, many people don't recognize it was Georgetown and Penang. They thought it was Venice. So it again, when you shoot something that most people haven't seen before, they are attracted to it. Like here in this shot, Georgetown looks so tiny, and you don't see how deep, that we have deep pot. Everyone tells you have deep pot in Penang, but you don't realize how deep the water is, until you see this image. So one of the best sunsets in Penang, it used to be the first quarter, January to March, but like last year, it wasn't because of probably climate change. So beautiful sunset. This is all shot by drone, but it's not again one frame, it's many frames. We actually printed this 10 meters wall art. So, and it looks beautiful. It's not like, the poor printout that you see in a billboard, but this was actually beautiful print as a photo file. Penang, Georgetown, Penang has one of the nicest pre-war buildings and rooftop. We've shot in many places: Hoi An, Vietnam, Thailand, Bangkok, Singapore. But Penang still have the most 2,000 over shop houses. This is over Chulia Street. We always go there to shoot because that's our favorite pub there called Pokok. Unfortunately, they are closed down. But we are lucky because it's right in the middle of Chulia Street, and you get a very nice pattern from it. What most people don't realize is the drone can shoot up to 3-second exposure and still be sharp. So like here, this is 9 shots panel. So it's 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 3 seconds, 9 times, and they can do the 360 34 times. But it's amazing, many times if you shoot even with a tripod to do 34 different frames, there's a good chance that you shake it, but to fly and to shoot. So we were lucky we got the drone at the right time The model allows you to have good big sensor, the DJI P4 Pro, big sensor, 1-inch sensor, and also it has the function where you can press one button and it shoots automatically for you for the panoramic. So we decided to go and find out all the most amazing, beautiful places in Penang. This is Tasik Blue Gore. Wonderful. We took Colonel Young there, and our vehicle got stuck, but him being well-trained SAF, he got us out, with no trouble. This is a Nibung Tebal. This is one of the prawn farm. If you love seafood, this is where you should be. It's just south of Penang. This is Krian River. So the village there, you can go there. The fisherman comes back around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and you can pick and just go upstairs and they cook wonderful, wonderful meal for you. So I love using Tiny Planet, which is a stitch of your 360 degrees. And when you wrap it one side, it becomes like a planet. You can do wonderful, wonderful things with it. In fact, today we just sold a print of Georgetown for this. This is, again, you see, the habitat has been shot, by so many people. But then because the age option wanted this as the cover, so we had to give them something different and unique. So this was, it came out as a cover in the age a couple of months ago. Many people do not realize that you can still see the Milky Way in Penang Island. You don't have to go so far to Kedah, Kuala Muda also. This is in Getah Sanggol, but you can only see them from 3, 4 o'clock in September onwards. And it's quite rare because you get lots of cloud cover and so on and so forth. This was right after a major storm, and I couldn't even see out of the car. As soon as the rain stopped, because the drone is not waterproof, the motor is exposed. So as soon as it stopped, you can still see on both sides of the images, there's still rain going on. But being lucky, went up, the sun came out just then, and it's beautiful. You get this beautiful scene during a storm. So when people ask me how do you get such images, it's you go out all the time. You'll be shooting all the time, because you can never tell when you get to see. I was lucky we came back to Penang because we couldn't do this in Singapore. In Singapore, to be able to do a commercial work, you need to get a license, and not only that, you need to apply permits for each location. Pay them $70, or used to be $70. Apply 2 weeks in advance, and then try. So now that we have the Over Penang book, we have gotten a sponsor for Singapore. So we need to be working with the government, hopefully Tourism Board Singapore, and get the special permission so that we can fly, daily without having to go through this red tape. So wish us luck. Again, a different view of Fort Cornwallis in the evening. I love shooting during the blue hour. That is in Malaysia. That is half an hour after before sunrise and half an hour after sunset, where the sky turns blue and you have a nice contrast between the warmth of the light, the street light, and the blue sky. That's the best time to shoot, for drones. This is your Prai River, and it's just right in Butterworth near the jetty. But can you imagine, you go in 1 kilometer from this river, you can shoot one of the best migratory birds, the open stock bills and all that, in that area. So a lot of people do not realize that, but that is what we are trying to do, showcase Penang to the world. This is the Penang port, and one of the hardest things to shoot with a drone is fireworks, because you can never tell how big the fireworks is going to be and how close you need to be, so it's always luck again, but you do your research, you look at previous years what happened, and then you try. So this was last year. Oh no, a couple of years ago. So after we shot 6 months, we had an exhibition during the Georgetown Festival, and we tried to get the state government to to join us to take all these images around the world. But we said that, look, wait for us to do a book so that we can it becomes more substantial, that we have something tangible to take over. And we are very lucky. This book won the National Book Award for the whole English category last year. So very proud of our team. And after that, we were commissioned by Joe Sidik to do the similar thing, but this time in Sarawak. So we went around Sarawak. We covered the whole state of Sarawak in 17 days. We went 3 times because we decided we cannot be out 1 whole month shooting, because the laptop is too slow to process our photographs. So we need to shoot, come back, reprocess, and go back again. Because can you imagine, you shoot the whole thing and then you lose your hard disk coming back, you'll cry. So we went 3 times and we covered. This is again the Cow Festival that you saw earlier. So we had a very successful exhibition there, and now Sarawak Tourism approaches to say, we want to help you to complete this Over Sarawak project. So wish us luck. We need to go back again to the interior and then complete the whole project. We've probably done 80% of this project. Hopefully we can do other books. Sarawak has one of the best river view, and a lot of their watering holes there is beautiful. Lovely place to be. That's the State Assembly on the top. That's the City Mosque. So again, all these colors that you see is taken during the twilight, golden hour, blue hour, in order to get all such light. This is the part of the Cow Festival. So this is the stage. That's why you can see some, if you look closely, you can see some ghosts. In fact, and this one, some people were like, hey, do I see ghosts inside? We had to tell them, no, it's okay, because this is a stitch of a couple of photographs, 6 photographs. You're not looking at ghosts because this is the Ghost Festival too. So this was another year. They had different color of the... So it's a wonderful festival. They start in the morning, decorate their boats and all that, and then you can join them. Our friend owns a lodge there called Damin Lana, and then you participate in the event, and they sail out towards the mouth of the river, and then they have a big picnic for the whole community. So everyone shares their food, and they are not allowed to take their food back. Oops, sorry. So this view is actually of a shipyard, but it reminds me a lot of a painting, Gustav painting with all the golds and all that. So it's one of my favorite image from that series. So we had to go into the longhouse, and although we only traveled 17 days, we covered 2 big events. One of them was the Gawai Festival, where we had to go into Batang Air to the longhouse to cover. So can you imagine going in? Our boat is probably the side of the boat is probably 5 inches. You have to sail in. Luckily, there's no wave because it's a lake. But in the longhouse, if you know the culture during the Gawai, when you arrive, you are greeted by everyone, and everyone will give you a tuak in each pintu. So if there's 40 pintu, you will have to try 40 tuak as you go along going in, and then when you come out, you have to try 40 tuak coming out. So that's a challenge. But in photography, we always say, the alcohol is our focusing fluid. Again, trying to give a different view. This is not a globe. This is just the Batang Air Dam, and they are all the fishing, the kelongs there. This is Tucson Cliff. Unfortunately, this structure fell early this year. They were trying to build a road closer to this place, and I guess some soil movement, so the whole thing collapsed, unfortunately. So, you know, we are glad we managed to capture this. This was shot with a very wide angle. I think this was the 10-17. It was just a little hole next to it, trying to frame it. This is Mulu Caves. The runway is just where the clouds are. So this is very early, there's no flight yet. So unfortunately, we couldn't shoot inside the park because they wanted deposit of, and they wanted us to pay 1,000 just to shoot in the park. But hopefully Sarawak Tourism now can handle this. Yeah. Many times you don't need a drone. This was shot because AirAsia have clean windows. So all you need is a big hood. You can buy it from Lazada. It's probably 10-15 ringgit only. So it's a gigantic hood where you put against the window and you can shoot out and get amazing shots. This was earlier, the series that where you saw. We haven't even approached Petronas to try and sell this image to them. KLCC now is a no-fly zone because the plane, you know, they use that as a marker point to turn. But we were lucky to have gotten the shot, and we have a project now over Malaysia. We are trying to work with Tourism Malaysia, so hopefully we can do all this. The KL Federal Mosque, beautiful mosque. This is the same Federal Mosque during morning with the KL skyline in the back. This is our Kuala Kangsar Mosque. So I always try to get different view, things that trying to show the viewers something they have not seen before. This angle everyone has seen, everyone knows. So different. This is Sabah, the state building. Beautiful. It reminds me of something from Batman. And the sun was, we were lucky the sun was just coming out right behind Mount Kinabalu. So if you look at that. So again, this file is huge. It's like probably 27,000 pixels and so on. It's a stitch of probably 30 frames. This is the Sabah City Mosque. So when we go on assignment and to shoot, we'll probably be out by 4-5 o'clock because you have to get up before the, if you need to shoot the sunrise, half an hour before the sunrise is the blue hour, so you want to catch that. And if you have to travel, that you have to take that into consideration. And then you do shoot the whole day, and then you try to do the sunset. So by the time you finish, it's probably 10 o'clock by the time you have your meal. So it's 4 to 10 o'clock every day for for the duration you're out for a project. I had to climb out Mount Kinabalu for a climb. They paid us to shoot 4 resorts, including the one in Laban Rata. So we had to climb all the way up. You can't see, but on the left there are climbers all the way, and you just follow a rope all the way up. And this is probably 12,000, 13,000 feet. The air is very thin. I had to every 40 steps stop and breathe for 1 minute. So it took me almost an hour to do this 800 meters. This is Manukan Island. This was our client that we are shooting, the Sutra Century. If you want to swim with sharks, go there. Where the jetty is, there are a couple of 5 feet white tips there that will swim with you every day. This is Pengerang. We've been trying to get permission to shoot from there, but at the moment there's issues, so they don't allow anyone. But I shot this again from AirAsia, flying it. The quality is amazing. I'm shooting with the Nikon Z series, so great quality. So thankful that AirAsia has clean windows. This is another frame. Again, this is not one shot. This is a couple of frames. to give you the quality. This is so SimCity like, you know, I would love to shoot, go there for a project, but unfortunately, you know, you can't even bring your mobile phone in. You have to use a special mobile phone so that, you know, the spark doesn't trigger all this, don't create a fire. So I do not know how you have to protect your camera to be able to be safe. Again, from a plane. So when, you know, many times we will actually check the site, which you know, flight we are taking, so that we know which site to sit, what's the time, which seat to sit, so that you are not blocked by the engine and all that. So Rebecca does that. So thankful for that. This was last December when we went to Langkawi, and I have to thank Ken Shen. He's here. He bought our limited edition print. It's a 1 meter by 1 meter. Beautiful. If you want to see it, it's in the office in Straits Key. This is your Langkawi Raja, Gunung Raja, Gunung Raya. Right, Eric? This is actually a combined shot. It's not one frame. It's a mirror shot. So this image is actually your paddy fields after the combined harvester has gone through it. So the muddy side and the clean side, and the green is the one that is still, you know, haven't been harvested. So, you know, we are trying to convert this into a very nice silk scarf. You know, I think it will do very well. We have shot Perlis. So Perlis is so tiny, but it's so beautiful. You know, there are so many places to shoot. They even have the pinnacles there in Perlis. So Perlis again. So again, we woke up very early. We dragged our intern along with us. So many times our intern will be the one with Rebecca to check and to find all this great location for me to shoot. You know, they use Google Earth, they use Google Map, and because they do tell you, you know, how high you're flying. And, you know, we use Planet also. It's an app that tells you, you know, the angle where the sun is coming out and so on and so forth. So you do a lot of research to get there so that you have a shooting script, you know the time, you know the angle to shoot. This is Sakinchan. Beautiful, beautiful place to go and visit, and lovely food. This is Taiping Lake, and you can see the zoo somewhere there on the site. So again, this is stitched. That's why you get this different shape. Oh, this one is amazing. We went on a road trip from Penang to KL, and it took us 5 days. Each day we traveled 1 hour. This is Telok Intan, and there is a new island in this picture. It doesn't have a name yet. Maybe they have named it, I don't know. Some people call it Cotton because every evening there's 20 to 30,000 migratory birds. They are now resident. They fly in for almost 2 hours. So you take on the boat in and you watch all these great big birds, you know, your herons, your open-billed stork and all that. And then you fly in and you get to watch them up close, and, you know, big creatures. And what we found out was people in Telok Intan don't even realize that, you know, they have such amazing thing here. So this is the island. As you can see, a lot of the white dots there, those are the birds flying out. Our dear other friends, he had the drone, so he flew. Because it was my first time there, I was shooting camera, so I didn't manage to get the shot, but we returned the next day, and this is the morning shot that I got for it. This is Kuala Kurau. Again, we are doing over Malaysia now, so we are going to all these wonderful places to shoot. We are hoping Tourism Malaysia will take up our recommendation, where we want, because the next 2 years nobody is going to travel anywhere, but we have amazing places to visit in Malaysia that we are trying to, you know, encourage, to showcase, and, you know, to invite people to join us on this adventure. This is Kuala Sepetak, or the old name is Port Well. It's scary to be flying here because there are 50 over eagles So you never know. I've crashed 4 of my planes. Sometimes it's because the birds, it doesn't have to be a big eagle, it can be a sparrow or a swift, and even the hawk, the crow will come and attack you if you ever, they feel like it. So you never know what happened. Suddenly your drone just fall out from the air. So whenever I shoot now, I have to carry 2 drones if it's a project, and then just take it as part of business. I've lost 4 drones in 2 years, but thank goodness the past 2 years I have not lost any. So but that's part and parcel of the job. This is the same shot of the Pulau Sepetang, but Kuala Sepetang, but a different way of shooting and stitching. So it gives you a very different view. So after that, we got invited over Bagan. So many of the shots over Bagan is very rare because nobody is allowed to fly. So some of the image we were told, hey, maybe we need to check whether we are allowed to shoot. So we actually hired the writer. We actually got all materials, and we even got the company, hot balloon company, who is willing to buy our book, for all their customers each season. And we were calculating it was 10,000 customers each season that we could sell. But unfortunately, because of COVID and also the crisis there now, the project is on hold. So this is Mandalay, the Open Bridge, the famous bridge. Everybody has this shot, but you still need to shoot it. It's so beautiful. The sunset there in Bagan and Mandalay is so nice. This is Bagan. It's dusty like anything. So whenever we have a project, we invite our friends to join us because we already done all the research, and many times our partners there will get us great deals in the hotel. So we love to share. So if you are interested in all this, let us know. Whenever we have a project, let's go. Sunrise, Bagan. You wake up at 4 o'clock. You go out. Wonderful view. The hot air balloon is one of the most expensive in the world. They charge you $400 US per person for that 1 hour ride, and each balloon takes 12 people. This is Swazigon. The dome itself has 85 kilograms of gold, and that's the Irrawaddy River next to it, just behind it. So like this shot, I knew I was gonna get this shot before the event, but then when we tried to fly off from one side, the DJI drone suddenly gave me no fly zone and said I cannot take off. So it was panic, you had to rush off to try another place, and luckily we got it in time just before the sun went down. So again, sometimes when you plan, you miss little things like this, no fly zones. So the geofencing, you have to be aware. We actually wanted the sun to be in between the 2 pagodas, the largest in the back and the Ananda temple. But unfortunately, that time of the year, the sun is on the left a bit. It wasn't in the middle. So what to do? This was the actual color, but it was like there for 2 minutes, before it disappeared. So again, if you are ready, if you are prepared, you can get the shot. If you're still fumbling with your camera, then you missed it. This is Mount Popa. It's actually a new temple. The previous temples you see are over 1,000 years old, but this is new. Oh, this one, we are printing a 2 meter by 1.5 meter wall art in our gallery. We just decided we just need to have this. So this is an old acacia tree that we're gonna print as a wall art, and it's gonna be on very nice deco print. This is a textile that you see in the mall for all the high-end sort of advertisement. So it's gonna be in our gallery. Can't wait. This is Ananda. This is the festival that we went back again in 2020 January, just before the COVID. Probably there was COVID there already, and we didn't realize. We thought we were going there to cover a religious festival because it's a 1-week event, but instead there was no religious event going on except one morning for 2 hours, and we missed it because we were in the hot air balloon. So, but they know how to have a party, and there's a non-stop 24-hour music event like Kotai like that going on. They even have a pickup truck with gigantic speakers driving around at night and so on. So if you want to have a really amazing experience, go there. Ananda Festival is around January in Bagan. This is from a hot air balloon. We were lucky they decided to fly out from a different place so that we can be nearer. If not, they are not allowed to fly near all these monuments. So that day we were lucky. They whether because of the wind patterns or so, we got one frame with so many temples and the Irrawaddy. So Bagan is tiny. It's probably half the size of Georgetown heritage area. So it's tiny, but it has 2,000 over temples and stupa. It used to have 4,000 over, but over the centuries, earthquake has destroyed half of it. But it's a beautiful place. Nobody stays there. They've been moved away to New Bagan. So this whole area is a cultural heritage area. They can't even, if you see a lot of the road is dirt road because they are not allowed to have tar road. They are still maintaining it as the heritage area. Sunrise from the balloon, beautiful, beautiful shots. You can see it's worth the 400 US dollar that you pay. Such amazing image you can get from just shooting from one hour. Can you imagine this was shot from the plane near Bangkok? So just looking out, it was sun in the afternoon. The sun was right in front of me. The reflection was just amazing, great. Just I think we were leaving Bangkok, just going there. So again, this is Bangkok from the air. I didn't even realize the park is huge. Mount Ijen. This is one of the volcano you can go, and this is the only two places in the world where you can see the blue flame. So in the middle, you have to hike up at 1-2 a.m. Hopefully get there by 3-4 a.m. in the morning, and then head down to the crater because you need to get there at 4-5 o'clock, the darkest time, to be able to see the blue flame. Unfortunately, we didn't have time, so I waited at the top so that I can fly my drone. But the wind was so strong that the motor actually got cut off many times until I had to wait until the wind died down before we could go out. But this was the sunrise, right after that. It's beautiful. You don't have to worry if you cannot climb up. They have porters to drag you up in a cart. So 3 of them will drag you up. You just sit there. Yeah. Again, different view. As you can see, I'm trying to give a different angle and different view. So in our exhibition, we always count how many wows we can get from a viewer. So far, the highest we've gotten is 15 in one exhibition, which we are very proud of. It's not easy to get that. So last year, after we did over Penang, we were stuck, cannot do, and we can't do over Bagan. We were wondering what to do, sitting down from March until May and June. So we decided, hey, I have all these photographs that I shot since I came back in 2017. So we decided we're going to do a smaller book because everyone was complaining our Over Penang book was too expensive, too heavy, and too big. So we decided, okay, we're going to do a smaller one and make it cheap so that it's easy for people to buy. So this is the book. This was from my balcony because of course we are stuck, couldn't do anything. So it's like praying for nice lightning, praying for nice sunrise and all that. So this is taken by Rebecca. She was actually stopped by them, says, can you help me take? So she did that. And then she came back to the car and like, did you get a frame for our book? She says, no. So she had to rush back and shoot this again, So we decided because it's a photo book, we want to put more information in. So we had this QR code where people can scan and listen to Dear Patrick Teo to narrate on different chapters on this. So one of the hardest parts shooting people is get the expression, especially in a group. To get all of them, in a nice expression is not easy. So we were trying to showcase, all the beautiful people in Penang. Rebecca is in there too. We tried to do culture festival. So all this was shot just the past 3 years. We wanted, to pay tribute to all our artisans in Penang, some of the beautiful, beautiful work that they do. And of course, the food. And this was one of the hardest page to do, how trying to convince, how do you narrow down to only 10, and so that nobody here. But we did that. I love this image because it's hard to shoot in a stage, and this one is a dance about hands. And I'm lucky to be able to capture so many hands. I think if you count, there are like 12 or 13 hands framing this friend of ours. So again, you have to be prepared, you have to know what you're shooting, and then hope for the best. So we were lucky, our Simply Penang, the first book, it was self-funded, but then we decided we're going to share with our partners this the second time. So we are very thankful. There were 7 people, 7 companies that decided to, join us, and we produced this great book of ours during the COVID. And now, we are using this book for MBS school, and they are raising 400,000 ringgit using this book as the core, and we are doing another 70 pages for that. So I mentioned wall art. So we shoot very big files so that we can do, like I mentioned, this image on the bottom, 10 meters. Can you imagine that? Many people don't realize you can do such great quality and then change your whole environment in your office or in your house. So these are some of the projects. We partner our friend, he's an American in India, to do this company. It's called Tiger. So we have photographers from around the world to shoot all amazing photographs focusing in this. We are also renting images for hotels and so on and so forth, because we print a lot, and then what do you do with the prints? So we are sharing this. We are allowing people to rent. We are allowing people to buy our prints as such. So this is our gallery. We opened 3 days before the MCO. So but it is great that we are now using this as a focal point for people to gather and have fun and meet. So we have events, workshops, so people from Photojam, if we want, we can easily have a weekend where we can take down all our photographs and you can have it as your own, so that you can consider having your own exhibition there as a group exhibition. Our system is very easy. It's all on hook, on cable, so it's easy to remove. So this is our gallery. It's big enough to, during MCO, to have 20. If not, you can get 30, 40 people in there. So we have a nice kitchen, and it helped us a lot. We bring our clients in, they see the quality that we do. Nobody's going to pay lots of money for your photograph unless they see the quality. So when we invite people to our gallery, immediately they are convinced, and we don't have to even show them and tell them what we can do. They see it with their own eyes, and immediately it's easy for us to sell our services and our stuff. That's Dear Vincent. He was an active vlogger. So this was one of the interview he did. We were very lucky. After MCO opened, we had a client who came from KL and bought the 3 photographs, frame photograph you see. So it's now in somebody else's boardroom. We're very proud of that he supported us. And as a photographer, I have to tell you, the most you need these 2 group of people, your printers. It's very important that you print your photograph. Why? Because if not, you will never know how well or how good your photograph is. Photography, is to able to see your print. So unless you print, you have no standard. You do not know where you stand. A lot of times you see it in your iPad, you see it in a mobile phone, you think you have a hell of a great image. But when you print it out, you suddenly realize the file is not. So your printer is very, very important. Yeah. I'm lucky. I have Chun Hao here, this handsome guy on the top in the middle. We combined to do our own printing now for Penang. Yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't had chance to use Wesley. I would love to use his service, but now we are doing our own in Penang. But like I said, the printer is extremely important. Don't go to a 1-hour lab, print 8R, and think you have good quality. The quality you get from a master printer is totally different. So the next important person is your framer. A frame adds another 20-30% value to your image. If you have your image and you don't frame it well, you lose that 30-40%, especially if you're trying to sell that print. So framer, this is dear Jeff. Jeff Kaur runs a very successful, he's very famous in Penang, and he's also here at Photojam. I think he should be one of your speakers in future. So Jeff, we are very honored to be working with him all the time. That's it. Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you, David. Great timing. 10 minutes shy of 10 p.m. Very interesting. You have a very wide interest. I mean,
Yes.
you started showing us underwater, and then towards the later part of your life is all aerial.
That's right. So, over the years, I tried everything, the first thing you have to do is make sure your hobby can support you. So, we tried underwater. Unfortunately, nobody wanted to pay for it. We got a lot of free dive. We got a lot of, free rooms, but, unfortunately, the system cannot. And we finally found with our aerial shots that people are willing to pay. And now that we are doing books, again, the books, people are willing to pay for the books, because now we are using our books to help others to make money. So that is we are lucky to find. So in fact, this year during the COVID, it's our most busiest time. We have 4 projects going on for books and and stuff that we are doing here. And it's so lucky that because we have this nice niche, people who are living Penang will call us up and says we need a nice image of Penang to take home. Yeah, so very lucky that we have that. Okay, open for questions.
Okay, before the Q&A sections,
Okay.
we would like to take a group photo with
Oh,
David.
wonderful.
So everyone please turn on your camera.
Hold on. Where is my? Am I close already?
Yeah, sharing is close.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah. So we have 85 people in the room, so we will take
Wonderful.
a picture, yeah?
So you do the countdown, Ali. I just do the steps.
Okay. Everyone please turn on your camera. Are you ready? Okay, first one, yeah? I count 1, 2, 3. Okay, ready? Big smile, 1, 2, 3, smile. Is that?
Yeah. Yep, got it.
Okay. So one more. Go on, yeah?
Okay. Okay, okay. Let me get ready. I need to go to page 2. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, page 2. Try and turn on your cameras.
Yeah. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hang on. Not ready yet. Okay.
Not ready yet.
My camera down. Okay, everybody, ready for page 2. Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
All right,
Okay.
got it.
Thank you for that.
Yep.
Yeah. Now you can turn on your mic and ask David questions, yeah?
Yeah, so coming back to your question, I seem to have a white. That's because that's the training we get as a photojournalist. We are generalists. We have to cover everything, from sports, the Olympics, the World Cup, protests.
Yeah.
So, we were trained to be, really versatile in what we do. So that's the beauty of in this industry. Last time it was great, when the boss hire you, there's only like, I think in Reuters when I joined, there was less than 130 photographers, staff photographers. We have another 150, stringers and all that around the world. And Reuters was one of the largest. So that was very nice last time when the boss hired you. They would tell you that, oh, we hire you because you are one of the best we can find. But unfortunately over the years, with cost cutting and all that, now that's not true anymore. It's whoever who is willing to work for the least, or whoever they can grab. So unfortunately that's the status now. A lot of people are willing to go in a war zone for free without proper training, without proper support. So that's very dangerous.
I think you're lucky that you were sort of like managed to got in the industry during the golden age of photography.
I was one of the last ones to enjoy the benefit where last time, because we are still shooting film and we carry our developing tank and all that, so we carry something like 80 kg even for local assignment.
Wow.
So everywhere we go, we travel business class. But then over the years, cost cutting, I got pulled in by the country manager. He says, if I don't travel business class, I don't see why you have to travel. And you try to use that excuse, it's like, no, go to economy and all that. So yeah, I was lucky. That time was one of the last to enjoy all this. So now you don't get, it's tough.
I think the other thing that's unique about you is you are a good narrator. I see all your photos. You're able to tell the backstory, you're able to tell the story, you have to be able to tell the purpose of the photo. And I think that's sometimes lacking in most photographers because, sometimes we take a photo, we don't even know how to describe that photo, the intention, what's the purpose. And I think that's as part of your training, that comes across very evidently, that you can present 100-hour photos over a 90-minute period and still get engagement through your photos as well as through your narrative.
We got lots of practice because we do that in our gallery and we do, in our talks and all that. So lots of practice, thank goodness.
Now, for those of you who want to ask questions, feel free. Just turn on your mic and you can address David directly. Come on, don't be shy.
Hi there. Hi, David. David, Naru here.
Oh, hi there.
David, what type of drone do you use?
I'm using the P4 Pro, but we just got the Air 2S. It's still using the same sensor, so it's only 600 grams now. It's just amazing, but unfortunately I haven't tried the plane yet because my wife didn't allow me. It's her drone, so I have to ask permission.
And how about filter? Did you use any ND filter at all?
No, because I'm shooting 360. If you use filter, you screw up all the exposure. So what I do is I do auto exposure bracketing. So sometimes if you see the Bagan shot, it is not 10 frames. It can be 60, 80 frames. I'll do 5-7 exposure in one frame, and then do your panel, so that you can control that. Yeah. So
how about, did you put any Insta360 on that for the?
No, not yet. Unfortunately, you can't do everything. Yes, I bought the camera and I wanted to mount it on, but there's only so much you can do. When we travel, because we do diving that trip, 120 kg, of gears and all that. So now I'm thinking of, okay, I want to get a 8K 360 camera because that's the way to go. But how are you going to carry all this? There's only, and then as you get older, you keep on forgetting gears. Can you imagine? I left my Nikon Z in the Air Asia flight, because there's so many things I carry. And luckily I found it. I got it returned. So there's only so much you can do. The rest you have to, get somebody else to do it.
Yeah. Thank you, David. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, that's a question. Oh yeah, we definitely, somebody is asking if you can send the frame photographs to Singapore. I assume you're talking about the wall art. Yes, we do. We have an installer that can do the stuff. So coming back to the wall art, it can be any size. And now, like we said, we are using this deco print, which is a textile. It's beautiful and it's seamless. That means one image, one frame, regardless of the size. And the best thing is you can remove it and put your own photograph again. So you have different team in one section, and you can even do like a light box in. So all you photographers shoot for panel, and then you can print it in that. Yeah. So wonderful. Yes, installer. In fact, our dear Brian, we just installed his very nice waterfall of Tomorrow and Waterfall in his place. Good to see you, right?